Hello everybody, today we'll be ranking every popular sleep aid I could gather and rank them on a tier list in order to see which sleep aid is truly the best. I would like to preface this video by explaining my testing process and methods throughout this experiment. In order to achieve the most accurate and unskewed results, I needed to retrace my steps back to 7th grade science class. The question: what sleep aid helps me sleep better? Shit, probably lean, bruh.
I can't put down the cup.
The experiment. To do this experiment, I needed an independent variable, a dependent variable, and a baseline control variable. And a f***ing life. I wanted to ensure I was doing this experiment correctly, so I started on paper. My control variable will be the amount of sleep I get, which for this experiment I decided on being 7.5 hours of sleep. My independent variable will be the sleep aid in which I'll be using, and my dependent variable will be how well I objectively feel a couple of nights into using that sleep aid. There are many things that can affect the way I feel, like how shitty my life is, how I'll likely be unemployed for the foreseeable future, how everyone hates me, not just how I slept. Just to make it very clear, this experiment is based on my own personal experiences. I tried a variety of sleep aids, ranging from herbal supplements to hard drugs that'll make me fall into addiction, so stick around to the end. Alright, so let's get into the tier list. So in front of me, I've lined up a selection of popular sleep aids. I'll tell you how they affected me, and along the way rank them from S tier to F tier. I'm going to be taking each supplement as we go through the video like some sort of lab rat, and hopefully I get the best night of sleep ever. Everyone's heard of melatonin, and I'm more than willing to bet everyone's tried it. For those who don't know, melatonin is a hormone that helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Now personally, when I popped my melatonin gummies, I felt myself drifting off relatively easily. The only downside is if you take too high of a dose, you might feel groggy as hell the next morning. Still, it's solid, it's easily available and widely used. Melatonin is going in the A tier. It's not perfect, but it's a solid gateway drug for sleep noobs. When I was researching for this video, I came across warm milk as a popular sleep remedy. It sounds like an old person thing. During my experiment, drinking warm milk before bed made me feel like a toddler who just escaped the womb. It helped me sleep maybe a little bit, but it was more the ritual that relaxed me and less the actual milk. I didn't mind the taste, but I know a handful of people that cannot stand drinking milk straight like this, and if you're lactose intolerant, this is not a sustainable remedy. Overall, warm milk goes into the C tier. It's not completely useless, but let's not pretend it's the second coming of Charles White. This stuff is supposedly rich in natural melatonin and antioxidants, and after drinking it for a few nights, I didn't think it was half bad. It was a subtle, natural drowsiness, like my brain got a gentle nudge to go lay down for bed. The only downside is that it's a little bit pricey, but what isn't these days? Also, the flavor might make you cringe. It's like licking the two funny nipples on the end of a battery. I'm putting tart cherry juice in the B tier. It's good. What magnesium does biologically is calm your muscles, central nervous system, and claims to calm you down before bed. When I popped my magnesium supplement, I didn't feel anything until around the 3rd day, but when it started to work, I can confidently say it helped me relax before bed. It didn't knock me out like a sledgehammer, but I noticed I felt less restless and more at ease. It's like the quiet guy in class who's secretly ripped under his sweater. You don't really expect magnesium to work until it finally kicks in. The subtle relaxation that magnesium provides puts it in an A tier. It's a nice foundational sleep hack that doesn't feel like you're slamming your brain with sleepy sauce. Chamomile. Everyone's heard of this OG herb. Everyone loves this fucking bear. The herb has a compound called apigenin, which may help reduce anxiety. Personally, I felt nice and cozy drinking my chamomile tea. It didn't exactly make me sleep like a rock though, it just calmed me down. It's more like a hug from your great aunt Birgit. It's nice, but it's not life-changing. Chamomile tea lands in the C tier. It's comforting, but it won't stop your existential rabbit hole of thoughts at 3 a.m. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen that's supposed to help regulate stress hormone, which in turn theoretically could probably improve sleep. When I took it, I noticed a subtle chill vibe over the next few days. It's like playing the long game, similar to magnesium. One common thing I heard online amongst ashwagandhians is that you'll likely feel empty-headed if you take it in the morning or midday. So just be careful about taking it any other time than before bed. I'm putting ashwagandha in the B tier. Valerian root is a natural herbal sedative that acts on the GABA receptors of the brain. In tea form, it smells like how your dog's corn chip paws smell. But if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really mind the smell very much, and the taste isn't that bad. It's not any worse than the bitterness in a black coffee. When I took it, I did feel more relaxed, and I definitely got to sleep faster. One downside I will mention is if you steep your tea for too long, you will wake up the next morning feeling very hungover. I'm giving valerian root an A tier. It worked great for me, but if you can't bear the smell, you will hate it. Passion flower is similar to valerian in that it works in the same GABA receptors of the brain, though through this experiment I felt the effects of passion flower a bit more tame than valerian, and it also didn't smell like wet socks. And honestly, for that reason alone, most of you guys would give this an S tier, but sadly I have to keep valerian on top. Passion flower's getting a B. Lavender scent is supposed to calm the nervous system through a compound within its scent called linalool. When it's processed through your olfactory system, it's supposed to act on the GABA receptors, similar to the other sleep aids we looked at. I used lavender flower because it was cheaper. And on the first day I made the mistake of steeping it for too long, and it was close to the worst thing I've ever drank. The following days I made the tea correctly, but it didn't do much at all. Lavender flower sucked. It's an F tier. If I used lavender scent, I feel like it could have done a little bit more. And finally, the coveted CBD. Now, don't freak out. I'm not handling mustard gas here. CBD is everywhere these days. Oils, gummies, lotions, bath bombs. The psychoactive chemical in marijuana is THC, so if you're taking CBD, you don't need to worry about seeing stars. The idea is that it reduces anxiety and pain, which leads to better sleep. My experience was a subtle relaxation, like turning down the volume in my thoughts. It definitely isn't a knockout punch, but it definitely did help me drift off. I'm giving CBD an A tier if you're getting yours from a trusted vendor. You might notice I didn't hand out an S tier. That's because life-changing sleep aids are not a thing. But guess what? Consistency, proper hygiene, a solid bedtime routine. Yeah, I'm gonna be boring and say it. The best sleep aid is the byproduct of a good daily schedule. If you're gonna play Marvel Rivals, never get any sunlight, and doom scroll Twitter at 2 a.m., I'm sorry to say you're a lost cause. Being a genuinely normal human being will be more beneficial than any supplement out there. And with that being said, I'm going to award the S tier sleep aid to quitting League of Legends and weed. Seriously, no pill, tea, or juice is going to out-supplement your midnight gaming session with your fruity LED lights and your zero-calorie monster. Sorry to be that guy. That was it for the video. If you like what you just watched, please consider supporting me by liking or subscribing. See y'all in the next one.